Hi. My name is Kate. I directed this shindig. I just got a couple housekeeping announcements before we get the ball rolling. If at any point, but especially during intermission, you need to use the bathroom, go out this door, take a right, all the way to the end, take a left, bathroom's on your right. Yeah. I can't see you, but I assume you understand. If there's an emergency, like a fire or another kind of emergency that I can't think of right now, go out the way you came in. Yeah, less directions. There's other student theater happening this weekend. If you run after this show, you can make it to Generic Theater Company's Circle Mirror Transformation in the Lisner downstage.
Woo.
Yeah, and if you want more even after this weekend, which you should, you can see Forbidden Planet Productions Cabaret, like a musical, not the play, but a musical cabaret.
Woo.
Yeah, March 6th through 8th in the Dorothy Betts Marvin Theater. 14th grade players will also be putting on 1984, March 26th through 28th, in this space right here. Last but not least, GW Shakespeare is a green company, environmentally. So if you don't want your programs after the show, for some reason, you can just leave them on your seat and we'll collect them for you. Without further ado, please enjoy.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where's the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hurrah through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report as seen by his plight of the revolt in the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, and say to the king the knowledge of the broils that didst leave it. Doubtful it stood. The merciless Macdon wrote, worthy to be a rebel showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with brandished steel, which smote with bloody execution, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the shafts, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, worthy cousin, valiant gentleman.
As once the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunder breaks, so that from whence spring comforts seem to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner had justice with valored arm compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our generals, Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare of the lion, if I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons, overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, but whether they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint, and my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Go get him, surgeons.
Worthy Thane of Ross!
So as to speak things straight.
Oh, God save the king!
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
Oh, from 5, great king, where the Norwegian banners float the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by the most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict to that Bologna's bridegroom, lacked in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, points against point rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirits, and, to conclude, the victory by us! Sueno, the No Ways King, Graves, composition, $10,000. So you use!
No more, that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
It shall be done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
The sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Arrant thee, witch! The rump-fed Ronin cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve all thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Oh, thou'rt kind.
I another.
And I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid, for he shall live, a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Wrecked as homeward did he come.
A drum. Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to dine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called the forest? What are these so withered and so wild in their attire that look not like inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it? Live you? Or are you what that man may question?
Speak, if you can. What are you?
Oh, hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, who shalt be king hereafter.
No. Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain shall grow and which shall not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favor nor your hate.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, yet greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Oh, Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Say, you perfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinno's death, I know I'm Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king. It stands not within prospect belief, no more than Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
have bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither have they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporeal melted his breath into the wind. Would they have stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we in on the insane route that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Oh, who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal ventures in the rebels' fight, his wonder and his praise do contend which should be thine or his. Silence with that, in viewing over the rest of the self-same day, he find thee in the stealth, no way in ranks. Nothing of fear but thyself didst make, strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom great defense, and pour them down before him.
We have come to thee to give from our royal master thanks, nay, only to herald thee into his sight, not to pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him to call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
He who was the Thane of Cawdor lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway or did lie with the rebels, I know not. But treason's capital confessed and proved to have overthrown him.
Gloms. And Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. I thank you, gentlemen. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet unkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange. And oftentimes, to win us to our harm, instruments of darkness will tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray some deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. Cannot be good, cannot be ill. If ill, why had they given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image make my seated heart knock against my ribs, against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes from my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise. Nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Chance will make me king, why? Chance may crown me without my stir.
New horrors come upon him like our strange garments.
Come
Cleave
what
not
may.
to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
I do beg your pardon. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the page to read them. Let us toward the king, think upon what is chanced, and at more time the interim, having waited, let us speak our free hearts, each to other.
Very gladly.
Come, anon, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one who saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthy cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now weighs heavy upon me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense would be slow to overtake thee. Wouldst thou hast less deserved that proportion both of thanks and of payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your servants, your throne, your state children, and they do what they should by doing everything safe towards your name and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and shall labor to make thee full of growing. A noble Banquo that has no less deserved, no more, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the closest, no, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not invest her only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, my lord, which is not used for you. I'll be the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of your approach to my wife. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or also leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye winketh the hand, yet let that be what the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, noble Banquo, he is so full valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose cares go on before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
In the day of success, and I've learned by the Perfectus report that they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. As I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters did salute me, and hailed me to the coming of the time with Hail, King that shalt be. This I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised to thee. Lay it in thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art in Cawdor, and thou shalt be what thou art promised. Yet, I do fear thy nature. 'Tis too full of the milk of human kindness. If thou were to catch the nearest way, thou wouldst be great. Thou wouldst have great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and thou dost fear to do it, and rather wishest to be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thy ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who wert so would have informed for preparation.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more to wake up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is horse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe tip of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood and stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature may shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Great Glomsworthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hailed hereafter, thy letter has transported me beyond this ignorant present, and now I feel the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thanes, as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, you must look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave the rest to me.
Me too.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet, doth approve by his loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, and yet this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle. Where they most breed and haunt, I have observed, the air is delicate.
See our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you to bid God gild us for your pains and thank us for your troubles.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double. Where poor and single business to contend, where honors deep and broad wherein your majesty loads our house, where old and late dignities are heaped up, we rest your hermits.
But where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well. O fair and noble lady, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves and what is theirs in compt, to make audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well, it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with the surcease success, that this blow might be the be-all, end-all here. But on this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. He's here in double trust. First, as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead, trumpet-tongued to the deep. Damnation of his taking off. I have no spurs to break the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He hath almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not, he has.
We will proceed no further with this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have won golden opinion from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From such a time I account thy love. Art thou feared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? And thou would live in the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would?
Prithee, peace, I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, you would be a man. And to be so much more than you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. And their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed its brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan's sound asleep, whereto his day's hard journey soundly invites him, his two chamberlains will I, with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the wanderer of the brain, is but a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbic only. When, in a swinish sleep, they lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan, who these spongy officers shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his chamber, and use the very daggers that they've done it?
Who dares receive it other, when we shall make our grief and clamor roar upon his death?
I'm settled, and mend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mark the time for fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
Oh, the moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Oh, take my sword.
There's husbandry in heaven. The candles are all out. Heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature does give way to in repose.
Oh, give me my sword. Who's that? A friend.
What, sir, not yet at rest? King's abed? He hath been an unusual pleasure lately, sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect. Which else should free have brought?
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
Aye, I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, you would spend it on some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind's leisure.
Good. Repose the while.
Thank you, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? A handle toward my hand?
Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. I see thee still, and on thy blade and duchets gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is a bloody business which informs us to mine eyes. Now over the one half world, nature seems dead. Wicked dreams abuse the current sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk. For fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. False I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, to cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is knell that summons thee to heaven. To heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. 'Tis the owl that shrieks, the fatal bellman who gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The grooms do mock their charge with snores, and I've drunk their posets, and now nature and death do contend whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack! I'm afraid they've awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid the daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I'd have done it. My husband!
I've done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl screech and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Payne!
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in sleep, and one cried, "Murder!" that did wake each other. I stood there and listened, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, "God bless us," and amen the other. As they had seen me with these hangman hands.
Consider it not so deeply.
They thought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more. Macbeth doth murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleep of care. The death of each day's life, soul labor's bath, chief nourisher of life's peace."
What do you mean?
Still, he cried, "Sleep no more," to all the house. Globbs hath murdered sleep, and therefore Condor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
My worthy lord, you do unbend your noble strength by thinking so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must still lie there. Go, take them and smear the grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I've done.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with it, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is with me when every noise appalls me? What are these hands? They pluck out mine eyeballs. Will great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hands? No. This, my hands would rather the multitudinous season incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. There's a knocking at the south entry. Go, retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of our deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking, go. Put on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not so lost poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
here is a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have told turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here is an English tailor come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. Oh, knock, knock, never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for help. I'll double porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Oh, anon, anon, I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him, sets him on and takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand still. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and, giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me, but I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my leg some time, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Ah, our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Vane?
Not yet.
He did beg me to call timely on him. I almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know 'tis a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The pains we delve into in here's the door.
Oh, I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service. Goes the king hence today?
He did appoint so.
Well, the night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, prophesying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee!
What's the matter?
Confusion hath made its masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What do you mean? The life?
I mean you, his majesty. Approach the chamber, destroy your sight. Stand and speak yourselves. Awake, awake, ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason, Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake. Shake off thy downy sleep, death's counterfeited. Look at death itself. Up and see the great doom's image! Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves, rise like sprites to countenance this horror!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas, in our house!
Well, anyway, you doth, I pray thee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Would I have died an hour before this chance, I'd lived a blessed time. All is but toys, renown and grace is dead.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered. Oh.
Oh.
By whom? Those of his chamber seemed to have done it. Their hands and faces were embadged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be so wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition, my violent love, outrun the pauser of reason. There lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with golden blood. His gash stabs looked like breach in nature for ruin's entrance. There, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly gored. Who can refrain? That had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves known.
Help me, Hans!
Look to the lady! What will you do? Why do we hold our tongues? The most may claim this argument for ours.
What can we say where our fate hidden under a hole may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet breathed.
Nor our strong sorrow, upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that do suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this bloody business so as to know it further. Fear and scruple shake us. In the great hand of God I stand.
So do I.
Let us put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office that a false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland. Aye. Our separate fortunes will keep us both safer. Where we are, there are daggers and men's smiles. The nearer in blood, the nearer the bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking. But shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
How goes the war, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
Is it know who did this more than bloody deed?
Those of Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, a day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Dottlebay, the king's two daughters, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still. Thriftless ambition that will raving up thine own life's means. Then, 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He's already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardians of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, all to Fife.
Well, I will hither.
Well, see you things well done there. Adieu, lest our old rogue sit easier than our new.
Farewell.
Thou hast it now, King Cawdor Glamis, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said that it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If truth do come from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speech doth shine, then why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we will hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
May your highness command upon me, to whom my duties are, with the most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We would have else desired your good advice in today's council, which would prove both grave and prosperous. But of that tomorrow. It's far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill the time twixt now and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrow of night, for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel patricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Hie ye to your horses, adieu, till you return at night. Ghost fleance with you.
Aye, my lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and surefoot. Till then, farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing. To be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep. And in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. To that dauntless temper of his mind, he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he, whose being I do fear. And under him, my genius is rebuked. He chid the weird sisters when first they put the name of king upon me and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown and put a barren scepter in my gripe. Thence to be wretched with an unlineal hand. No son of mine succeeding. it be so. For Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and given my eternal jewel to the common enemy of man, to make them kings. The seed of Banquo, kings! Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we first spoke together?
It was, so please your majesty.
Well, then now know that it was he who in times past held you so under fortune, which you had thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last meeting. Say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did, and went further. Do you find patience so predominant in your nature that you could let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and his issue, whose heavy hand has bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And at such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with bare-faced power sweep him from my sight, and though my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose love I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance make love, masking the business for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you! Within this hour at most, I will command you where to plant yourselves. Abide within. Fleance, his son, who keeps him company, and whose absence is no less material to me than that of his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. I'll come to you straight. Abide within.
Nought's had, all spent. Our desire is gone without content. 'Tis better to be that which we destroy than by destruction live in doubtful joy. How now, my husband? Why do you keep alone, using thoughts which indeed should have died, they live on? Things without remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We've scotched the snake, not killed it, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks and be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray, be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo, present him eminence both of eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces visors to the heart, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, too full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his clients live.
But in them nature's copies, not in turn.
Yet there's comfort in that. They are assailable. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Good things of day do droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, yet hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
Who bid thee join with us?
Macbeth?
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. Near approaches the subject of our watch.
Give us the light there, ho!
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
His horses go about.
They go a mile, and so they usually do. So all men do. From hence to the palace gate, make it their walk.
A light! A light!
Stand to it.
'Tis he.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, sir, no! Oh, slave.
Who did knock out the light?
Was not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled!
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.